Hi guys, my name is Lockin, AMG specialist for Mercedes-Benz, and today I want to take you guys through the incredible MBUX system on board your Mercedes-Benz. Now, if this is your first Mercedes-Benz or if you are new to the MBUX system, congratulations, this is going to be very exciting. Also, it is quite a lot of information because this will be an in-depth review to the system, so let's dive right in. Now, first things first, in order to control the system, you can use the touch paddles over here. So you can swipe between the different menus, or of course you can use the touch screen if you would like to use the touch screen. There we go. Some of the older cars will still have a trackpad over here. Obviously the newer vehicles do not have trackpads, so you will have to use the touch screen or the touch controller over here, or you can just speak to it. Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
What noise does an elephant make? Simple as that. Now, there are two different layouts that the MBUX system offers you, right? So we're going to switch between the two of them. If you press and hold the home button, your screen might look something like this. This is the normal layout, this is the normal design for the MBUX system, but you can change it. We call it the 0 layer. So if you press and hold it again, then you will have the 0 layer. So when you start the car, it shows you the navigation system. Now essentially what the 0 layer does is it learns and picks up on your habits and functions and features that you use frequently on the car. It will display to you here. So the car will learn and see what are the features that you use quite often and displayed for you here. So for example, if you listen to music regularly from your phone, it will display your media here. If you like to use the massage function on your car, it will display the massage button over here. So the car will learn, right? Now I'm going to go back into this menu over here, just because it shows you more of the features, right? The same features, it just shows it to you a little bit differently. Now the first thing, and we're going to work all our way, we're going to work from the left hand side all the way to the right hand side. Now the first thing that you can do is if you press and hold on any of the icons here, you can actually move them around. So you can move this here, so let's put EQ over there, so you can move the icons around, right? So first things first, we have navigation. Now to input a destination, you can either type it in, or my favorite is to use Mercedes Me, because then you just type it in on your app and you send it straight into the car's navigation system, or you can speak to the car and you can simply tell the car where it is you want to go. Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Navigate me to the Burj Khalifa.
Starting route guidance to Burj Khalifa Tower, Burj Khalifa Boulevard, Dubai, downtown Dubai. Please proceed to the highlighted route.
Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Zoom out.
All right.
Hey Mercedes, what is the traveling time to my destination? Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
what is the traveling time to my destination?
The expected journey time to Burj Khalifa Tower, Burj Khalifa Boulevard, Dubai, downtown Dubai is 11 minutes. There is a delay of 2 minutes due to traffic on this route.
So that is how you use the voice activation for the navigation system, which is pretty cool.
What can I do for you?
Cancel. Now, very important, when the navigation system is speaking to you, you can adjust her volume. So while she is talking to you, then you can either increase or decrease the volume. So if you feel it's too loud or too soft, just toggle the volume and it will increase or decrease the volume of the navigation system. So let's just cancel this over here. So the map, you can simply zoom in, you can zoom out, you can move it around, and you can see that it moves quite fast, which is awesome. It really is awesome. And it can even show you, if you click on the car, it can show you Qibla. So it'll show you which way you need to face to pray. which is very cool. It's one of the hidden features on the car. Then we have telephone. Now you can connect two devices at the same time, and both devices can receive phone calls. You can then select which device you want to make phone calls from, so you can switch between the two devices. It's very, very cool. It's very, very simple. I will do another video to show you how to connect your phone to the car's MBUX system. Then we go on to radio, and in radio you will obviously have all the radio stations, and you can see it is displayed here. So you can just swipe between your preferred radio station, and there we go. It's as simple as that. What you can do is, if you have a list of radio stations that you listen to frequently, just push the little star and it'll add that radio station as a favorite. So we can do that radio station, we can do this radio station, and now if you click on favorites, it will show you those two radio stations, or the amount of radio stations that you have chosen as your favorites. You can then also have AM frequencies. This isn't in all the cars or in all the countries, so you can definitely have that as well, but we will go back to FM over there. And then what you can do is, while you are here, you can, for example, if you click that dial, you can switch on radio announcements, you can fix the frequency. So while you are driving, the car will automatically fix the frequency while you are driving the car. Then you can adjust your equalizer, bass, treble, midtones, your balance and fader, your sound focus. You can adjust the loudness of the car, so you can manipulate the music to suit the way you like to listen to it. Right, then we will go back home over here, and then we have media. Now from media you can play music via Bluetooth. You can then also play online music, but you need internet access for that. You can also connect a USB to the car, and you will be able to stream your music from the USB cable on the vehicle. Then we have apps. Now, depending on the equipment level of your car, this will vary, but here you will have access to your Mercedes-Me account, so if you need to update your services, that can be done via there. This is the EQE, which has the optional hyper screen, so there's quite a lot on this car. There's even games, so while the car is busy charging, you can play games. You can also browse the weather, for example, and she will give you the weather of the area that you happen to find yourself in. So you can see that it's a beautiful 32 degrees here in Dubai today, and it'll give you a forecast of the weather, which is awesome. But you can also ask the car, so, hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
what is the weather like in Cape Town, South Africa?
Currently it is mostly sunny in Cape Town with a temperature of 21 degrees. In the evening it will be sunny with a low of 15 and a high of 18 degrees.
So there we go. Now she's showing me what is the weather like in Cape Town. So you can basically
How can I?
Cancel. You can ask it for any country. You should be able to pick it up. It's pretty cool. Right, then we will move on, and in comfort, this is where you will find your seat settings. Now, if the car has massaging seats, this is also where you will find the options to switch on the various massage programs on board your Mercedes-Benz. Now we have seat kinetics. So what seat kinetics does is it very gently pivots you. So it'll push me forward, pull me back, lift me up, drop me down. And the reason why the car does this is to allow my blood to flow more oxygenated through, so that it keeps me awake. We have seat heating, so you can tell the car where you want to heat the seats. Do you just want the base? Do you just want the back? Or do you want the entire seat to be heated up? And you can do it for the driver or the front passenger, which is very, very cool. If you go to position seat automatically, you can put in your height, and the car will put you in the optimum seating position. So this is my optimum seating position. You can then obviously reset all of this. Ambient lighting, you've got monochrome and multicolor. Monochrome is one color, multicolor is obviously the various colors of the ambient lighting, so we can change it. So let's make it green, and then she will filter through the colors. If we go to monochrome, we can select one of 64 different ambient lighting colors that the car has, but let's leave it on multicolor, and we will do red moon. Brightness will obviously increase or decrease the brightness of the ambient lighting inside the car. So let's just make that 20, there we go. And then you have effects. Operating feedback, If I prompt the system, you will see the ambient light flashes. That's to show me that the car is listening to me. It also depends who is speaking to her. So if the front passenger prompts her, it will prompt the ambient lighting on the front passenger side. Warning assistance, what that does is if you are driving, there's a car in your blind spot and you indicate, the corresponding ambient lighting will then flash red to warn you. And then multicolor animation, that just means that the ambient lighting that you have selected in multicolor, she will filter through those colors for you. So you'll see the ambient lighting will change color as you are driving the vehicle. Then we have EQ. Now obviously EQ is specific to the electric cars, and what EQ is showing me here is I've got 94% charge in the vehicle, and basically I can open up the socket for charging. I can then see my range on the car. I can also see the consumption of the car, but that will obviously change as you are driving the vehicle. So it just gives you a more visualization of the functions on the vehicle, which is very, very cool, especially when you're driving the electric cars, because you can even set your charging. You can tell it whether you are charging at home or at work. So it's very cool to set up the charging system on your car. So for example, if you don't know what any of the features mean, just click on the eye and it'll give you a indication over there. You can also set the charging on the app on your phone, which is very cool via Mercedes Me. If you go into off-road, off-road is going to give you information about the vehicle's stats, right? So for example, if I turn the wheel, I can see over here that the wheels have turned 37 degrees. We can then go here and it's now giving me the position, but I can still see my drive. So you can change the different menus. Then over here, the temperature tires. So I will be able to see the temperatures of my tires as I am driving, so how warm or how cold my tires are, and then as well as the pressure. So I can put the pressure here, I can put the suspension on the side. So if I want to raise or lower the car, it'll show me. So I can also see by how many degrees the wheels are turning. And then this over here will then show me my tilt inclination or my angle, am I straight, am I level. So if I push that button there, we increase the suspension on the car, so the car is now busy raising. You then have your downhill speed regulation over here. This will guide the car when you're going downhill. It'll control the throttle for you, so it will control the brakes when you're going downhill. Downhill speed regulation, DSR, that's what it stands for. That button there allows you to switch off the electronic stability program, which you should never do with the brain of the car. This will allow you to activate or deactivate the parking sensors of your car. And then this button here, which has a camera, what that does is it uses the 360 camera in front of the car to show you what is happening underneath the car. And you can now see that I can see what is underneath the car. And there you can see I'm approaching another car. And you can see the ambient lighting was also flashing to warn me that I was approaching another car. You can see there it goes away. So that is the active ambient lighting that is talking on the car, which is very, very cool. Then if we go in here, info will give me information on the batteries. So it will show you when you are drawing electricity from the battery or when you are adding electricity to the battery using the car's intelligent regeneration system. And if you click on vehicle, it'll give you stats. Currently the air suspension is on level 1. You can decrease the air suspension or lower the air suspension. The car does this automatically as well based on your speed. I can see by how many degrees my wheels are turning. There are 2 motors on the car, so when I'm accelerating, she will show me whether it's the front motor or the rear motor. I can see how much percentage of the brakes I am on. If I step on the accelerator, she will show me. And this is basically a infographic on the car. So I'm currently tilted 1 degree to the left and I'm currently tilted 1 degree down. So this is the info section on the car. It will vary per vehicle. For example, if you have an off-road package like on the GLS, you will have more air suspension levels, which the car will show you. If you have rear axle steering, for example, it will show you by how many degrees the wheels in the back of the car are turning. So it's very, very cool. Now let's dive a little further. Right, so now that we have this angle, I'm going to press home and now I'm going to go into settings. So this is where you will find all the vehicle settings and I'm going to take you through them. Depending on the equipment that is fitted to your car, there will be different menus. The first one that we have is speed adjustment, and you can see here that I can put it on route based. Now this is for vehicles that are equipped with the driving assistance package, because this is for the active distance assist, which is your Distronic. And basically what this does is it will automatically reduce the vehicle's speed based on GPS data. So if you are approaching a curve, the car can slow down automatically even if there isn't a car in front of you, which in turn charges the vehicle, but it also slows the car down to take the bend more safe. So this is not just for the electric cars, it is route-based speed adaptation. If you approach an intersection, the car can also reduce the speed autonomously even if there is no traffic in front of you. But of course, it is only an aid, it is not there to take over from you. We then have active distance assist, which you can then switch on, and you can see that it will change based on the drive mode that you have put the car in. So when it's in dynamic, it is more sporty, which means it'll obviously follow a little closer. When it is in comfort, it'll give you a more comfortable orientated drive, or based on dynamic select, which is the drive mode. So if you shift between comfort or sport, it will then adapt automatically. Now, downhill speed regulation is when you are going downhill, you can switch that on. You don't have to step on the brakes. The car will automatically go downhill and control the brakes for you, and you can then set the speed. The maximum is approximately 14 kilometers an hour. Active steering assist, what that does is if you are driving with a car, it will automatically steer for you as well, but it'll only do slight bends for you, so your hands are not allowed to come off the steering wheel on the vehicle. So this just assists the car when you are driving on the freeway. If we go into collision avoidance, we have ESP, that is the electronic stability program, that is the brain of the car. We are not going to switch that system off. Active brake assist, there are 3 settings. You can set it to early, you can set it to medium, or you can set it to late. Now if you saw the infographic over there, you will actually see that the car moves further and further away. What that does is if you are approaching another car, it'll display a red triangle in the cluster over here. It'll prompt you to step on the brakes visually and audibly. If you do not step on the brakes, the car may initiate autonomous braking for you. It works for vehicles and cyclists as well as pedestrians. Now the system is so intelligent that when she applies the braking for you, she will use all the available distance to come to a complete stop to give the cars behind you enough following distance as well, so that they don't drive into you. So I always prefer to have it on early when you take delivery, because in that way you can gauge how the car system will react. We then have active lane keeping assist, and that's quite self-explanatory. What that does is if you are veering in and out of your lane, it will vibrate the steering wheel. If you still don't react to it, the car will very gently just pivot the steering wheel to bring you back into the center of your lane. And again, you can then set how you want the system to intervene, early, medium, or late. When advanced is activated, right, it will then also do it when there are broken lane markings. So if you are driving and you happen to veer in and out, you will then also bring the vehicle back into the center of the lane. So it's very nice because you can either set the system how you want the system to intervene. It's not like the old system, which a lot of people didn't enjoy. The new one is quite intuitive and quite intelligent. Active blind spot assist. If there is a car in the blind spot, it will illuminate a red triangle for you. If you indicate, that triangle will flash. The ambient lighting inside the car will flash red, and you will get an audible warning from the car. Now, what I love about our system is the more your car has, the more the car can do, which means that if your car is equipped with parking sensors and blind spot assist, if you are reversing out of a parking bay, the blind spot assist will actually monitor the area behind the car to warn the drivers if it is safe or not safe to pull out of a parking space. If we go into assistance, you now have traffic sign assist, and what this does is it gives you visual warnings of the speed limit as well as any signs that the car might pick up, and it shows it to you in the instrument cluster. So the car can show you the speed limits, it can show you a construction zone, it can show you a no overtaking zone, just to make it easier for you. Traffic light view, this you can switch on or off, and then you can tell the car to show it on request or automatically. If you are standing in traffic and you cannot see the traffic light in front of you, there's a camera on the windscreen over here that will automatically show you the road in front of you and show you the color of the traffic light. Attention assist, this is fatigue detection. If the car is picking up that you are falling asleep and you are no longer paying attention to the road, the car can prompt you to pull over and take a break. What you can do is you can set the sensitivity of the system. So you can tell the car to either activate a little earlier or a little later. It works based using time, how long you've been in the car, how are you braking, how are you accelerating, are you drifting in and out of your lanes. There are up to 72 different parameters that the car monitors about you, so it's a very, very intuitive system. Then we go into camera. If you open up the camera cover, it'll open up the camera at the back, so if you do need to wash it, then you can, which is very, very cool. You also have GPS based activation, and what that does is, let's say you've got a narrow driveway and you get home, so before you get to the driveway you can activate route based activation or GPS based activation, and when you get to that area the cameras will switch on automatically around the car, which is very, very cool. Then we go into parking. Now you have parking space in camera image R. What that means is if you put the car in reverse, it'll pick up a parking bay and it'll show you the parking bay with augmented reality. So it'll show you a little P hovering over the parking space. Remote parking assist, this is not on all of our cars, but essentially what remote parking assist allows you to do is it allows you to park your car using the cell phone. Memory park assist I will explain in a separate video, but basically you will reach a certain point. When you get there, you will let go of the car and the car will automatically do the parking for you based on the coordinates and the directions that the car stored. Then you have set warning tones. I like mine to be on 5. Just so that you know the parking sensors are on and you will be able to hear it. Audio fade out, what that means, audio fade out for warnings. So if you are on the phone or you are listening to music and you trigger a parking sensor, for example, then the parking sensors will take over. So it'll mute the background music or the phone call. Audio fade out in reverse. So what that means is if you engage reverse on the car, it will automatically mute or lower the volume of your phone call or the music that is playing on the vehicle. Then you have set time warning, so time of warning. So you can warn if something is approaching from the side. You can set early to the front and early to the rear. So that's basically in a nutshell what that does. So you can set the warning of when the parking sensors need to trigger. Then you have maneuvering assistance. Now maneuvering assistance, you now have drive away assist. And what drive away assist does, right? What drive away assist does is if you are pulling out of a parking, right? And let's say instead of engaging reverse, you accidentally engage drive. Do you see that it says speed is heavily limited? Because the car has realized that I've engaged the wrong gear. So even though my foot is off the accelerator, the car is still busy braking and still busy braking for me. So that is what that system does. You'll see the ambient lighting has also gone red because the car's not impressed. If I put the car in reverse, then it doesn't limit my speed because I'm now in the right gear. You then have warning for crossing traffic ahead. So it'll use the cameras and the sensors. If you are pulling out of a parking bay with the nose first and there is another car, a cyclist or pedestrian approaching you, it will warn you. If you do not step on the brakes, the car will step on the brakes for you. It does the same when you're reversing out of a parking bay. If there's a car approaching, a pedestrian or a cyclist from the side, the blind spot system will warn you. If you do not brake, the car will brake for you. You then have close range braking. So what close range braking does is, you can see over there, speed is heavily limited. So basically what that means is if you are approaching an obstacle, the brakes are fully engaged right now, the car can brake automatically for you. So that is what that system does. Please remember that all of these systems are only aids. They are here to assist you. They are not here to take over from you. If we go into vehicle settings, I know there is quite a lot on this car. If we go into vehicle settings, the electric cars have something called sound experience. Now you can change the type of noise that the car generates on the inside. So we currently have silver flux over there. You can have vivid flux, roaring pulse, or serene breeze, and this will be heard both inside and outside the car depending on which one you have selected. You then have winter tires. It's not applicable in Dubai because obviously we are in the desert. GPS based raising is very cool if you are approaching an area and you know this area has low curbs or you are prone to knocking something perhaps. The car will raise automatically when you get there, so you can set that in on the car. Creep, what creep does is it allows the car to pull away very, very, very slowly when the car is in drive or reverse, even if the accelerator pedal is not depressed. So that is very cool. You then also have a car wash mode. So if you take the car for a car wash, just activate car wash and she'll close the windows, fold in the mirrors, close the sunroof, switch off the parking sensors, and she will raise the air suspension on certain vehicles just to get the car ready for a car wash. It's very cool. If we go into comfort, the easy entry exit, what this does, you can see seat position and steering wheel. She will move the seat and the steering wheel out of the way so that it's easier to get in and out of the car. The roller sunblind you can control over here, or you can ask the car to open and close it for you. If we go into occupant protection, belt adjustment, that is when you put your seatbelt on, the seatbelt will pull tight. It is to make sure that there is no slack in the seatbelt should the car need to prepare the occupants for an accident. If we go to open and close, automatic lock-in, please note that it also changes on the screens, right? So you can also see it here. So automatic lock-in, what that does is when you pull away, you in the car, you start driving away, the doors will lock automatically. Acoustic lock will give you an audible warning when you've locked the car, so you can hear that you have locked the car. An automatic mirror fold in will obviously fold the mirrors in when you have locked the vehicle. Dynamic select, this is your different drive modes, your comfort, sport, etc. Now what you can do is you can set it to ask you when you get into the car, because you do have an individual mode, and what individual does is it allows you to take the different driving modes and combine them. So you can tell the car that when you're an individual, you would like your drive to be sport, you want your suspension to be in comfort, but you want the steering to be nice and heavy, and you want the ESP in comfort. So when you shift between the different drive modes of sport, comfort, eco, off-road, you can select individual, and individual will then select the drive mode that you have selected on board the car. If we go into lights, dynamic low beam, this is cars that are equipped with digital light. Dynamic low beam, basically you can see here when you turn the wheels will follow with you. She can also switch the brights on and off. She can adapt for traffic. The high beam assist will essentially take control of the car. You then have a spotlight function, right? Now notice the pedestrian over there. So what the spotlight function does is when you are driving at night and the car picks up pedestrians, it can flash the lighting towards them to warn them that you are approaching, but to also warn you that there is someone in the street. You then have your welcome and farewell projection. This is when the car uses the digital light to give you a little animation, and she will project that onto the road in front of you, which is very, very cool. So using 2.6 million pixels, the car can project symbols for you. You can then set it to either the right side traffic, the left side traffic, or automatic. So if you cross borders, the car can automatically adjust the lighting for you. I've already taken you through the ambient lighting, which is here at the bottom. If we go to interior lighting, locator lighting, that means that when you unlock the car, she will switch on the surrounding lights around the vehicle. You then have the illuminated star on the electric car, so it'll switch on the star for you. And interior lighting delayed shut off, exterior lighting delayed shut off, you can set the time. Increments of 15 seconds, so 15, 30, 45, 60, or off. What that means is when you lock the car, the inside lights and outside lights will stay on for approximately 15 seconds. Then we go into system. Here you will find all of your comfort features where you can activate them or deactivate them. So there you can deactivate Hey Mercedes. So if you're in the car and you say Hey Mercedes, she's not going to listen to you. Or you can switch it back on again. This is where you will find all of your settings. There is a driver camera on certain of our vehicles. This is used to identify you, such as the facial recognition when you are signing into the car, as well as micro sleep detection as equipped on board the S-Class. If we go into suggestions, what this does, it uses the AI system on the car, picks up on your habits, learns, and just makes it easier for you inside the vehicle. Display and display messages, here you can adjust the brightness. It is obviously, there we go, so the driver display is this one over here. We can then go to the center display and increase the brightness over there, and then the passenger display as well, but the passenger display will only switch on if there is someone seated there. We can then change the home screen between the 0 layer and the classic one. Like I said, you can just hold in the home button and then it'll change there as well. You can put a decorative image on that passenger screen, which is very cool, but you cannot see it right now. You can change between kilometers and miles, and if you add the additional speedometer, it will show it to you in the difference. So if you have kilometers and you add the additional speedometer, it'll show it to you in miles. Language, there are 27 different languages that you can choose from on the MBUX system. She also understands 27 different languages, so when you speak to her, she will be able to understand you. You can then go into keyboards and writing. You can change those settings there. Control elements, I'm going to put this to high. This is the control elements on the steering wheel, so the little trackpad that allows you to control this screen and that screen. You can set the speed, you can put acoustic feedback on the car, which is also very nice. If you go to audio, Parktronic, there is the volume of the sensors, the volume of the phone, the volume of the voice output, which you can adjust while you are driving as well. And then obviously the entertainment, the surround sound system is currently set to pure. You can set it to 3D, which is very cool. Internet and Bluetooth, you can connect to a hotspot inside the car, depends on your market. So you can connect to a hotspot, turn your phone into a hotspot, and it'll allow you to browse the internet. You then also have NFC, so near field communication. So if you put your phone down here, the car will be able to connect via Bluetooth automatically. Data protection, you can put a pin on the system, or you can as well use the fingerprint scanner or facial recognition that the car has. You'll see your transmit vehicle position for Mercedes Me. That is if you've activated the panic button on the car so that we can locate where you are. Time and date, this is where you will change the time and date on the car. It's set to automatic, so you can see that we are in the United Arab Emirates. Software updates, there are no updates available right now, but what the car does is when it is due for an update, it will ask you when you switch the car off, so as not to interrupt you while you are driving. And when you get out of the car and you have asked the car to do the software update, it will then update automatically, which is very, very cool. If you're going to reset, you will obviously reset everything on the vehicle. Then we have info. And under info, this is where you will find the vehicle's owner's manual. Now the owner's manual is very cool because you can, for example, you've got quick tips over here, right? So quick search, so setting up Wi-Fi, connecting phone, operating, energizing comfort. You then also have tips. So when you're at a filling station, if you're driving through snow and ice, you then also have languages over here, but then you have animations. And animations is very cool, although arguably I'm probably going to be the best owner's manual because I can explain it to you. So if you have any questions, just pop it in the comment section, right? So let's, for example, say you want to know how does Pre-Safe Plus work. And what the car does is it'll actually show you a video of the system.
Please note that the content shown in the following video may differ depending on the market and vehicle equipment. Pre-safe, the anticipatory occupant protection, can detect certain imminent impacts and take preemptive measures to protect the vehicle occupants. In addition, Pre-Safe Plus can, in particular, detect an imminent rear impact. If the system detects an imminent impact, Pre-Safe Plus can implement the following measures independently of each other. Activating the rear hazard warning light system at a higher flashing frequency. Tightening the seat belts on the driver's seat and front passenger seat.
And then it'll obviously play the entire video for you and show you how the features inside your car work, which is very, very cool. Right, so we have now almost gone through everything. The last one is smartphone. This is where you will find your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto. So that is what that does over there. Now, you're probably wondering, what are these buttons here? If you click there, this is for your Mercedes Me account. I'm currently connected as without a user, but you can then connect your profile. And when you log into your profile, it'll move your seats, your mirrors, your ambient lighting, everything exactly the way you like it. Then, this button over here, if the car is equipped with rear entertainment, so if we click this button over here, it will allow you to control all the screens in the car. So if I zoom out here, I can switch this screen on. There we go. So it'll now switch that screen on, and it'll also do it for the screens at the back of the car. So if there was entertainment in the back of the car, it will give me all of those screens. Now the reason why that screen isn't switching on is because there's no one seated there. So only once a pressure sensor is triggered will that screen switch on, so as not to distract the driver. That's why that screen isn't switching on. And then what you can do is you can literally just take your content, drag it over to the other screen, or drag the content to the back, and the people in the back of the car or on the screen over here will be able to see what you see. So you can share your content, which is very, very cool. This panel over here stays on permanently. So even if you switch off the screen, that panel will stay on the car. So if we do this, right? So let's switch off the central display. You can see there that that panel stays switched on the car. And this is your climate menu. So we're going to click climate menu, and it will now allow you to adjust all the climate settings on the car. So first things first, where do you want to redirect the air? So that is obviously on the windscreen for driver and passenger. This is for the body of the passengers, which will flow through these air vents over here, as well as on the sides of the car. And then you can also tell the vehicle, I just want to zoom out here. Then you can also tell the car, I want to blow on my feet, which you can set over there, which is very cool. And then if the passenger's temperature is 21 and mine is 16, if you press sync, whatever my temperature is becomes that over there. So let's sync that up, and there it's now synced, right? Then you can increase the fan speeds for the passenger independently. So I can even switch that off. I can then increase mine or decrease mine. Second row of seats, I can control the climate control in the back of the car. So I can increase their fan speeds, I can decrease or increase their temperatures, and I can select where I want the air to blow, or I can just switch it off entirely if there's no one in the back of the car. If you go into air quality, what air quality does is it allows you to switch on the ionization of the car, which sends electricity into the cabin to remove any odors, so that the air quality in the car is always nice and fresh. And if the car is equipped with an air perfuming system, you can then activate the perfume on the car. So the car will then have a bottle of perfume, which is this over here. So here is the perfume on the car, and the perfume just goes in over here. And what you can then do is you can switch on the air perfuming system, and the car will now dispense the perfume throughout the cabin. Pre-entry climate control, you can set the departure time of your car, and the car will then charge up until a certain point, and before departure it will be finished charging, which is very cool. And then activation when unlocked, so you can obviously manipulate how it is you want to charge the vehicle, which is very cool on the MBUX system. I'm just going to press this button here, go into that layout over there, just to show you guys the differences, and you will see that if we press home, same menu, just designed a little bit differently. That's all it is, which is very cool. And this is the incredible MBUX system on the car. You then obviously have another screen over here. So let me just zoom out for you guys so you guys can see the screen a little bit better. Now this screen over here, in order to control this screen here, you're going to use this side of the steering wheel. So if you press home, you can swipe between the different menus. And let's go home again, and we will go to assistance, and assistance will show you whether she's picked up cars in the blind spot, whether she's picked up pedestrians, if she can see traffic in front of you, if she can read the road line markings. This is my favorite display on the car. It's very cool, it's very intuitive, and it just gives you a lot of information available to you. But I will go more in depth on this screen at a later stage. For now, I hope you guys enjoyed the in-depth review on the MBUX system, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, and don't forget to subscribe.